Tommy Mullick and Paul Cribben are paired at midfield with Mick O'Grady and Owen Doyle manning the central defensive positions. Niall Kelly will lead the attack with Eoin O'Flaherty and Pádraig O'Neill operating on the wings. The Kildare captain is Eamon Callaghan. The fallout from the Munster final replay defeat is reflected in the Cork team, with no place for Brian Hurley anywhere in the attack. Colm O'Driscoll starts at wing forward, while Owen Cadigan, who missed the replay with Kerry because of a hamstring problem, returns, but not at full back, but at centre field. One very late change, Conor Dorman will start at centre back. A place in the quarter-final of the 2015 Championship. Is it going to be Cork or is it going to be Kildare? Donnacha O'Connor. Good defending by Kildare. No advantage accruing. The referee gives the free for the foul on Paul Cribben. Good ball up first, Niall Kelly. This lad is a good footballer. And this is a brilliant point. Sending out a clear signal that the Athy clubman could well pose problems for Cork this evening in Semple Stadium. Emmett Bolton is available. Into the middle, it's a good ball. There's Alan Smith. There's a chance here of another point. Excellent play, Kildare. Excellent play, Niall Kelly. He hit the first with his right foot, his second with his left. Eoin O'Flaherty, he went into a cul-de-sac, but he did so well. And Kildare have split open the Cork defence. And James Lockery is looking at the referee, Marty Duffy. Was that inside or outside the large rectangle? But Kildare literally split open the Cork defence here. It was outside, judging by that camera angle, but brilliant work by Eoin O'Flaherty, continued by Carl McNally. You look at the different camera angles and you come to different decisions, perhaps. The free is the decision, the point taken by Eoin O'Flaherty. Colm O'Neill trying to get away from Mick O'Grady. Still O'Neill. He made an angle, a difficult angle, but what a score. Second point of the match, one from a free and one from play. He went towards the corner flag per se and then bent it over the black spot. Going forward was Alan O'Connor, and he's in trouble here. He knows immediately that he's done some damage to the leg. Gathered it, but on landing you could sense there's the pain. Just fell awkwardly. We wish him well on his road to recovery, having returned more or less from semi-retirement. And away come Kildare here. Good work by Paul McNally. Nice footwork, lovely skill. Not confident enough to have a go. Lays it back to the right man in the right place. And his name is Niall Kelly with his third point of the game. Good decision here by Paul Cribben, it must be said. He looked at the goalposts, laid it back for his Kelly, who split them. 3-point gap now between the teams. Paul Kerrigan laying it off for his Jamie O'Sullivan. Paul Kerrigan takes the responsibility. Emmett Bolton in hot pursuit. Kerrigan hits it. Beautiful score. You can read the lips of Brian Cuthbert for encouraging Paul Kerrigan to go forward and perhaps play him in a more attacking role. Here's Niall Kelly. On the overlap, it's Owen Doyle. Aiming for Alan Smith, who turns O'Driscoll rather easily and puts it over the crossbar. Good score, Alan Smith. Pádraig O'Neill. just about keeping in. Good work. It's Tommy Mulick. Carl McNally. Kildare have retained possession and Kildare have scored. Off the boot of Pádraig O'Neill. And O'Neill took his point with style and purpose. Tommy Mulick. Pádraig O'Neill, and on his shoulder was Ollie Lyons. Niall Kelly flicking it back to the corner back. Can he score? Can he watch? Corner back once upon a time would only defend. Now they score points from out the field. Mark Collins is going through the hardest route possible. But a great run here. There's a chance. Fintan Gould lays it off. Flicks it across. Surely this is a goal off the crossbar. And there waiting for it was Kieran Fitzpatrick. Cork did everything right except the finish. Here's Peter Kelly from 2 Mile House. Corey Fogarty. Niall Kelly. If he gets inside the challenge, watch out. There it is. It's Niall Kelly with a cracking goal. And Kelly made it look easy. The Kellys combined, Peter and Niall, to break open the Cork defence and slot home a crucial goal. Happy days for the Lily Whites. Mulick did well. Lays it off for his own Doyle. Paul Cribben. Will it curl? Will it get inside the post? The answer to both questions is a definite yes. Oh, well played, Tommy Mulick. Faris Pádraig O'Neill. Owen O'Flaherty's in a very good scoreable position. What's he going to do? Oh! Somehow Ken O'Halloran got his fingertips to it. Cork again exposed. Owen O'Flaherty just centimetres away. Away goes Tommy Mulick. To his right is Carl McNally. And that is a beautiful score. Simplicity in motion. Mulick going forward, got the call from Carl McNally. McNally didn't disappoint. Right now, it looks like game over. Pádraig O'Neill. Ollie Lyons. In the centre, Pádraig O'Neill to Ollie Lyons, who's already scored once. Here's Alan Smith. Oh, that's a brilliant piece of creative football by Kildare. The referee, Marty Duffy, has shown a red card to Kevin O'Driscoll. And Cork are reduced down to 14 players. There was a kick there from Kevin O'Driscoll. The referee spotted it. This was it again. There was a follow-through, and it's a straight red. It's turning out to be a disastrous evening for Cork and Thurles. There's Paul Kerrigan. Flicking one inside. It's Hurley. Cork need goals, and they need them badly. Hurley was fouled, and it's a free in. And the ball has been put into the back of the net. Great strike. Colm O'Neill rattled the back of the net deep inside the corner, beating Peter Kelly at the post. Kick out from Mark Donlan. All the way for his Niall Kelly. Good running off the ball. Chance here for Pádraig Fogarty. On the turn. That is a wonderful point. Paul Cribben with Owen Cadigan. Survives the challenge. Heading towards the 20. Takes a shot, and that is over the bar. Wonderful performance by Paul Cribben. Physically strong. Confident to have a go and score a point of sheer class. laying it off. And ultimately it ends with Pádraig O'Neill and Ollie Lyons. Can he score his second point? He lays it off generously to Pádraig Fogarty, off the post and over the bar. Everything going Kildare's way. Kildare players along the sideline waiting for that final whistle to signal Kildare's victory over Cork and a place in the quarter-final. Driving it in, Mark Donlan cutting it out. Referee blows the full-time whistle. And Kildare have recovered from the hammering they got from Dublin to give a fair trimming to Cork in Semple Stadium. Full-time score in Thurles, Kildare 121, Cork 113.
Thrilled, just delighted. It's quite some time since Kildare have beaten a Division 1 team in a championship, so it means an awful lot. We've had a few really good weeks in training and some good results since the Dublin game, so we're just thrilled. It's great.
You've Kerry next time around?
Absolutely, so I'm being told. So, up to now it's just focusing in this game and, give it a couple of hours and then we'll start focusing in on what needs to be right and what needs to be put in place for next weekend. Another daunting game for us.
Well, Ciarán, Kildare may have had to win back their supporters after relegation, etc., but they certainly did it last night.
Certainly did, Des, and they deserve huge credit. And I suppose the last time they were in a quarter-final, Cork done exactly the same to them. They're coming off the back of a lot of criticism, lost a few players, relegation in the league. Jason Ryan came under a significant amount of pressure, and they've built momentum through the qualifiers. When you give Kildare space and you give them time on the ball, they'll do damage. They've averaged, if you park the Dublin game, they've averaged 21 points per game this year. So they deserve huge credit tonight. That was their best performance, to take out what a top 6 team. Now Cork are probably marginally slipping out of that top 5 or 6 based on their performances, but what it does for them in terms of their confidence, their belief going forward, it's a lot of big teams have turning points. Not necessarily this is a turning point, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for Kildare. It was a good performance.
They had an unbelievable amount of time and space.
They did, and I know we'll get into the Cork thing, but I think you've got to give them credit where credit is due, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
They got the basics right in terms of the kickouts. They found men on the kickouts. They dominated midfield, and they had good movement in the forward line, and they picked off a few good scores.
Well,
you can only beat what's out there.
I agree.
We'd expect a lot more from Cork.
I agree. They were very lively, very energetic, all that, but it was so extraordinarily easy.
But on that, Joe, I mean, you expressed sympathy to Cork, chatting to me there about how the last 3 or 4 weeks has panned out for them.
Well, I think the first thing is the starting point is you've got to join battle at this level. Cork didn't join battle, and Kildare immediately sensed that. I mean, you can see, they were in their element then.
Yeah.
And Cork at no stage joined battle. And this has been a perennial problem for this Cork group. And, I had said, that they were the least rebellious rebels in history before the first Kerry game. But they put everything into that Kerry game, and they played with great courage that day. And, they were robbed, is the bottom line. They were robbed. I mean, it was a catastrophic refereeing error. It was clear that it wasn't a penalty. It occurred at a crucial time. I'm not saying there was anything dishonest about it or anything like that, but Paddy Hughes is drawn to dramatic gestures. Good referees are invisible. And the consequences of that penalty were huge. So that instead of Cork...
Well, he made a mistake. I mean, it's a simple...
Well, yes, I understand that.
Collateral damage.
But it was a huge error. And the consequences of that error are that instead of Cork preparing to play Fermanagh next weekend in Croke Park in an All-Ireland quarter-final and being on the less difficult side of the draw away from Kerry, Dublin and Mayo, they're now out because the replay against Kerry didn't go in their favour. Again, they played with courage, but they were headless and they didn't play with any
I know, but
structure.
is it only a huge error because Cork are now out?
Well, look at the consequences. I think also that there is a duty to the GAA public. I mean, a referee makes such a huge error. I mean, it's a huge error.
But Cork had two games to redress it.
But look, there it was. The game was there. Everybody knew. I mean, the game was there. The game was over. I mean, the game was done. Cork had, they were psychologically superior. The game was there. The whole atmosphere was against Kerry. I mean, Kerry people could not believe it when the penalty was given, nor could James O'Donoghue. But the point is this, that I think that at the very least, I have had great difficulty with Pádraig over the years as a referee, because of this penchant for dramatic gestures, dramatic interventions. He's drawn to them like the moth to the flame.
All right, well, that's off 3 weeks ago.
But hold on a second.
Yeah.
But the point that I want to make about it is that he should, at the very least, because there's a public duty here, he should at the very least have been stood down. I mean, there needs to be some consequences.
Well, one
for
mistake.
He's out a fortnight later. Not given a penalty that was a stone wall penalty.
Joe, in terms of the referees, right?
Goalkeepers make mistakes.
He made.
That was one.
He made one mistake.
Yes,
he made one mistake.
And
players make mistakes. Managers, everyone makes mistakes. The referee made a mistake. Yes, it was critical. The collateral damage was used. In terms of referees, I think the standard has got better this year.
In general, it has
got better. It has got better. In fairness, you look. We spoke about the Ulster final last week. You'd hardly noticed David Coldrick was a
that was an excellent.
We're talking about the Munster final, so let's bring it back. That's 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I take your point about how that affected Cork, but as a consequence of that,
they were a ghost team yesterday. You could see that.
And Kieran's going to illustrate that from the start.
They're not like Kerry, for example. Kerry have reservoirs of experience. Kerry, they know how to win and they know how to get the job done, even if they've had a bit of a gunk mentally. Right. Cork aren't in that category, and you could see that they were a ghost team yesterday. They were just cannon fodder.
This is the issue that I'd have with Cork, Des. Yesterday, in the first couple of minutes, in the second minute of the game, from 1 minute 54 till the third minute, Kildare in the Cork half had 27 passes. Not one Cork player got a hand on a Kildare player. Now, this is speeded up and it actually makes Cork look like they're moving quicker than they actually are, right? But they're not, right? And they're standing off. Now, like, you can talk about 6-day turnarounds, you can talk about being in this draw, that draw. That is not acceptable, right? That's not acceptable to let a team grow into a game. In the first 5 minutes, you want to lay down a marker. You want to say, listen, you're in a game here. You're in a one-on-one battle, and I'm going to let you know that you're in a game here. Yeah. They stood off them. They let Kildare grow, and Kildare are thinking, this is great. I have time and space on the ball. Let's throw it around. Let's wait for the gap. Throw it out here. Eventually, we'll create a scoring chance here. Cork aren't coming near us. So that's the second minute of the game. So to me, that laid down the marker as to where Cork's headspace was at the start of the game and allowed Kildare build a confidence.
And that's a brilliant illustration of it. I mean, you think